Hello, teacher friend. Thank you so much for trusting me with your educational resources. This is Denise Lee, the creator of this Microsoft course. Before I get started giving you a tour of what you get with this course and how I recommend implementing it, let me tell you a little bit about my history with Microsoft. I feel like I grew up with Microsoft. Microsoft was launched in the 1990s, and at that time I was teaching Lotus, WordPerfect, those very primitive files. And when Microsoft became a thing, the Microsoft um, suite of Word and Access and Excel and PowerPoint, I was such a geek. I wanted to know everything about it because it was amazing to me. So in the mid 90s, I started teaching it when it was really a new thing. And I learned all about the different changes and upgrades and tools and functions as they kind of were born. So when I say I was raised with Microsoft, I was raised with Microsoft. Before Google, of course, I was a Microsoft girl. I now use Google in my classroom a lot, but I still think it's so important for students to know Microsoft. And I realize that some schools are Microsoft schools. So I decided to launch this in order to keep it affordable for teachers if they were purchasing it on their own without access. Because access is something that I realize now that there are so many tools and functions in Excel, PowerPoint, and Word that have kind of taken place, replaced what we use access for some in the business world. I thought it would be more affordable if I didn't include access, and so many were not teaching access anyways. So let me jump in and show you what you get with this full course. You are getting an Excel packet, you are getting a Word packet, a PowerPoint packet, holiday and fun activities, decor bulletin board set, and all the teacher's keys. So diving in, I always recommend that you teach Word first, then PowerPoint, then Excel. That is my preference. You do you, but that's my preference. The format of these books are all the same. When I say books, they're meant to be printed out. They're meant to be printed out, and I actually created these so that they could be put in a hard binder so students can flip them over because they are in landscape for more surface space. And they're freestanding if they're in a hard binder. Freestanding meaning they're going to stand up as a copy for your students. So that was my dream for my kids, that I had a freestanding copy for them to look at each of the jobs so that they could complete the jobs. Now, if you don't have 25 binders for your students, you can simply staple them at the top or just in a packet form. But I made sure I put all of the fonts and so forth away from where the holes are in this graphic. It's tight up against those holes, but I have adjusted after this picture was taken. Now, you can use one binder for the entire course. So if you're using one binder for the entire course, their word's going to be in there, and then use these separators to separate each of the units. So again, they can be stapled, they can be printed out and put in a binder. I do recommend the binder. And then you can put the fun activities behind that. And a 1-inch binder will do the job just fine. And you don't need a 2-inch binder. So again, here is a cover page. They have a quick reference format for each, a table of contents for each. There's some skills the students are learning here. And then this is a quick reference. The very first thing that students do in my class is one of the most important things we can teach them, quite frankly, and that's a formal business letter. This one is on letterhead and this one is not on letterhead. So they learn a little bit about both. So these first 2 pages are really reference pages. And then they go right into doing a formal business letter of their own. So this is job 1. 2, you see the quick references over here. These are newest skills that you're applying. So these are the new skills that students are learning. And then you can see I'm clicking on these and moving these. These are all editable. And then here, arcade games, liability waiver. You can see the format. And of course, the pages are numbered like a book. When they get to the bottom here, this is very important for you to realize. There are actually 3 activities at the bottom that are exercises. You may want to do those exercises first with your students before they jump into doing the jobs. And then there's template prompts. So I highly recommend that students discover templates. And these are right in Microsoft. Whether you have the free educational version or the purchased version, you're going to find templates that are user-friendly. Here they create a full calendar of photo memories. This would be a great gift for a boyfriend for Christmas, a girlfriend for Christmas, a mom, a dad, a grandma. So allow them to have time to create these. If you don't have a color printer in your classroom for them, tell them they simply just need to email the local UPS store. You can call the store and get the email address, or send it to Office Max, Staples, Office Depot, and they will print it for them. And it's actually very inexpensive to have it printed. So again, these are like resume, birthday poster, newsletter, certificate of achievement. I want the students to know what they can use to save them time. If you are printing student packets, you're only going to print pages 1 through 22 for Word and put it in the binder or staple it. The rest of them are for your use, and I decided not to do a separate teacher file, but to tack these at the end of each of the files, the student examples into teacher's keys, because I didn't want my zip file to have 14 different files, quite frankly. So just literally when you're printing, go up to print, go up to file, go down to print, and you're printing only pages 1 through 22 for your students. I highly recommend, and I have always shown student examples before students start the job. When we know the end, we do better. So I tell them phones down. I don't want you taking pictures of what the end is supposed to look like, but this is a student example of job 1. It takes approximately 15 minutes for the students to complete. Quite frankly, I'm probably going to talk for 10 to 15 minutes myself, telling the students a little bit about the format, showing them a letterhead letter, telling them what a letterhead is, explaining to them the different types of salutations, to whom it may concern, dear whoever, hi whoever, sincerely telling them a little bit about complimentary closes. If it's for my aunt, I'm going to say love, Denise. And if it's for someone I don't know, I'm going to say sincerely. If it's someone I've done business with in the past, I may say, I send my best, or something like that. So I'm going to be discussing the parts of the letter. Project this on your Promethean board and use it as a tool to teach your students. And then, whenever we're down here in the jobs, show them what their first job's going to look like. That will take 10 or 15 minutes for you to do. And then this will take 15 to 20 minutes, I would say, for students to do. You can see I give pacing suggestions for each of these, and the skills applied are on each of these as well. So I offered to you the activity, a student example, a pacing guide, the skills applied. Now I'm going to give you some grading suggestions. I grade these over the shoulder. I do have students turn them in on the learning management system so I can track who has things done and who doesn't. But on a Friday, I might say I want everyone to bring up tabs for jobs 1, jobs 2, and jobs 3. And I go student to student. And this is how I would grade this one. Set up a document page would be perhaps 2 to 3 points. Format a business letter would be 2 to 3 points. And I may add 2 to 3 points on it for being complete. So this letter would be probably 6 or 8 points. This one, apply bullets, insert table, format table, and then having it complete would be an additional 2 or 3 points. So this particular one, you see that skills are being added as we go along here. This one's going to be worth a little bit more point-wise because the skills are a little more intense. They have to apply a watermark. They have to insert a symbol. They have to insert a signature line. They have to use a heading style. And I bet my students have never done any of those. So this would be 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, and then 2 points for having it completed on time. This may be a 10-point or a 12-point activity here. And then same thing here. Look at your skills, add 2 or 3 points if they did each of them correctly. I did not, for just survival purposes, I did not list any, and I do say any, rubrics with this because I never had time to do a rubric, quite frankly, with all of these. I had 190 students last year, so that just was not happening for me. This is the PowerPoint packet. Again, basic format of activities. They're already going to be used to the basic format if you do Word first because they're all in the same format. Your quick references are over here. The prompts for the students are over here. And the skills learned are up here. And then this is the table of contents. And then they go right into job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4, and so forth. And you're only going to print in this particular packet to page 21 for your students. So pages 1 to 21 for your students. These template prompts are probably going to take an additional 2 weeks for the students to do if they do them correctly. My students spent a lot of time on their all-year calendar. They did want to gift them for the holiday, so I saved this to do right before the holiday. And it took them a few class periods to get all of their pictures off of their Google Drive, but it's also teaching them that to either email pictures to themselves or put them on their Google Drive or put them on their Microsoft OneDrive, pull them out of there for them. And that took some time, but they were amazing when they were done. And so they were so proud of them. This Spirit Week calendar, I always did during homecoming week. So look over these a little bit, holiday presentation, infographic or diagram. But this, again, great way for students to understand exactly what is available and done for them as a time saver in their personal life in the future or in their work life. So this first job takes 35 minutes to complete. Again, I offer pacing guides, and look at how many points this is going to be. 2 points for inserting word art, 2 points for formatting font, 2 points for text fill. You will get very good at grading these and eyeballing them. I can tell right away word art was used in this. I can tell right away that they added a slide border to each of these because here's a black side border. I can see right away the table was done correctly. And again, I grade them over the shoulder. So this is the book of me. This is a student example. This is what each slide would look like. They have to change the page shape. And again, 35 minutes to complete. Social media, stars, magazine cover. Again, show students this example before they do their magazine cover so that you can show them, talk a little bit about quality of work, making sure that they're proud of what they've done. They don't have to use their picture. They can do a different picture. I had one young man who is an FFA, Future Farmers of America, that did a agriculture magazine as his example, and he had him showing his lamb. But they have to change the slide size. They have to insert a picture and so forth. They have to put a SKU on it, a barcode. So that's literally just searched online. But these magazine covers, I always hung in the hallway so the students could see the really super cool things that are done in my class. And when I would go to graduation parties, it wouldn't be unusual for me to see this on display at a graduation party. And again, some of these are just super cool. This particular one, if you are using the free or educational version of Microsoft 365, 3D models may or may not be available to you. But this was created in the mindset of test prep, and 3D models are on the test. So this took this student 15 minutes to complete. This was only done by stock in software 3D models. And if you've never used 3D models, they're amazing. This took 15 minutes. This took 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. This is a lot of time that it takes the kids, but they're addicted. And again, I would often hang these in the hall. I mean, just really great works of art when they're done. And yeah, again, examples of student work. So that is my PowerPoint one, and then Excel. I highly recommend when they do Excel that you have them do Excel in one book and open a blank sheet for each. So here's job 1, student example, job 2, student example, job 3, student example. This makes grading over the shoulder so user-friendly, so easy, because they are in the same book every time. You have to stress that to them because, of course, I had students that opened up a different job or different tab each time. But I'm telling you, I think, and it's also great for them to see that they can create a book with several sheets. Navigating the Excel interface, spend some time talking about this graphic. Table of contents, again, skills they're going to learn. These are worth their weight in gold, especially with something like Excel. And I really caution you, some of my students, because I had so many different types of learners in my classroom, it would take them 30 minutes to finish a job, and some students it would take a couple class periods, especially in Excel. I used my keyboarding fun files, which work on speed and accuracy while typing. They're just fun, mindless files that get students typing and still working on computer applications. They are worth their weight in gold. I literally just use them for early finishers, and they love them. I have them for every holiday. I will link those in the comments of this video. Again, they're called keyboarding fun files, and I can't tell you enough how much I lean on those to keep all students engaged while I'm getting every student to the finish line when it comes to these jobs. And again, discovering templates in Excel, amazing templates. I use this vehicle loan calculator in my personal finance class. It's great for kids to know this is available for them. This simple invoice, if they have a side hustle, like they're washing windows in the summer, they can use these simple invoices. A semester calendar, great tool they can use in school. And this event budget, I used a wedding budget template in Excel for years. I was the prom coordinator for 27 years. And for 20 of those years, I bet I used the Excel wedding budget. I just modified it, changed the word wedding to prom. You can customize these. It's really good that the students see that you can make them your own. This simple meal plan, college comparison tracker is also a great life tool as well. Again, if you are printing this for students, just pages 1 through 16 for Excel. I am adding more prompts to Excel. At the time of this recording, it is August 2024. I am a little bit falling short with skills for test prep for Excel. I'm going to be adding VLOOKUP and pivot tables by the next few weeks, and I will be adding. So if you do not have the additional jobs, which will probably be jobs 11, 12, 13, and 14, then you just simply have to go back into your purchases, download again, and the free updates will be there because it's important to me. I'm making sure that this is a comprehensive test prep course. Again, show students with their phones down what the job will look like when they're done, so that they can see the quality of the work. They can see that they are all professional and easy to read. In some of these, I ask students to format the table in whatever colors they want, but we always have to keep in mind that it needs to be easy to read. The colors cannot be too dark, that whenever we have a table riddled with data, we want to make sure it's as user-friendly and easy to read as possible. That comes first over fancy and the aesthetics of it. You can see again, I have pacing guides here for you. And I also have the skills applied in each of the tables. So you can see if I go back to my grading suggestions, if each of these are worth 2 points, you may want to make a couple of them 3 points. This is the first time they're ever alphabetizing and inserting a chart. So you may want to make these 2 3 points. So this would be 2 points. Max would be 2 points, min would be 2 points, average would be 2 points, and sum would be 2 points. Formatting data would be 2 points, alphabetizing 3, and inserting a chart would be 3. So this is worth a lot of points, but it's also a lot of skills that they're putting together. And then here, some of this is review, some of this is new, and just grade accordingly. And that finishes my Excel file. And I also added some fun seasonal and holiday activities. And these can be done as the semester goes on. You can print these out and add these to the back of the binder and ask students to go to the fun holiday activities, or print them out in a separate supplement. You are only going to print pages 1 through 9 for students, and then 10 through 13 are going to be in your teacher's key. If you are projecting these on the whiteboard to show this example, this is the holiday spending example. This is the fall festival example. This is the coffee shop example. This one my students absolutely love. They rarely do their own name. Sometimes they do their boyfriend. Sometimes they do their best friend's name. But they usually do a few of them. Because I call this one a locker sign, and I let them laminate them with my little classroom laminator so that they can gift them to someone as a little locker sign and nameplate for their locker. That they just really love to do that. And then this one is reindeer sitting for Santa Claus. So this is great to do right before Christmas. As students complete these files, I have them fill out a nameplate, which is in your bulletin board set, and put it under each of the software applications. So again, as they're finishing them, now this is not test certification passing. This is finishing the packet. If you are doing a test prep, put your certificates, print them out maybe half the size, and put them over here to the side, and you can put the test passing certificates off to the side. But I think if they complete the packets, they deserve kudos for that as well. Also, with the PowerPoint and the Word, one of the templates prompts them to complete a certificate in the templates in Word and PowerPoint, congratulating themselves for completing the packet. You can even print those little certificates out in half size and put them under each of these as a collaborative bulletin board. And again, you get all of the artwork as well in this file. This is the border that you see in that photo, and this is the welcome banner that you see, but there's another banner you get and it says We Excel. So if you don't want welcome at the top, you can put We Excel. These are the posters. And then this bottom one is a binder cover for your teacher resources. If you are printing out all of those teachers' keys for quick reference, some may opt not to print them out and just show them to the kids on the Promethean board. But if you want to print them out, I will be honest with you, I had a couple kids with IEPs, and in their IEP, it specified that they're to be given student examples. So I printed out a few packets of all of my teachers' keys, my references, and offered it to them. 2 of them had a personal aide with them, and their aides so appreciated having a hard copy of what each of the jobs were to look like when they were done, so that they could help the student succeed in my Microsoft class. So thank you so much for listening. I know this was a lot of information because this is a very robust course. It was a labor of love, folks. My eyes were buggy. Every single circle was created by me, every arrow, and all of the jobs I thought of myself. So pretty proud, patting myself on the back. but it was the resource that I, as a teacher, needed in my class so that my students found my class engaging and fun, and that everything was relevant. So thank you so much for supporting my small business. This is Denise Lee, and if I could ever be of help, please reach out. Denise Lee at business-ed.com. Thank you.